Thanks for joining. We'll start the session in a couple of minutes. Hello everyone, good evening. Can you confirm if my voice is audible? Hi everyone, good evening. Can you please confirm if my voice is audible? Okay, thank you so much for joining the live session. Welcome to KSR Data Vision. In today's session, we'll just have a demo on what is this data engineering. Well, data engineering is one of the field currently which is on the top skill in the current market. Now we'll try to understand what is this data engineering. Let's go through the agenda. First, we'll try to understand what is this data engineering. This is something like nowadays it's creating a buzzword in the market. Now we'll try to understand what is in data engineering. Before that, I'll tell you what made you to learn this, why you have to learn this, what is the reason behind this data growth. We'll see that. And we'll take a simple example to understand data engineering with the layman terms. And we'll also see how cloud is going to help us. Well, this will be the agenda for today's session. Now, first of all, we'll start with growth of data. You need to understand what is the reason behind the growth of data. Now, if you just open your smartphone and you count the number of applications you are using, minimum it will be 20-25 apps. Well, if you take an average person who is 25 years of age, definitely these are the applications he'll be using in his smartphone. And you cannot use these apps just like that. You need to create an account for it. Well, if you want to go out in Ola or Uber, you need an account. You want to order something in a Flipkart or a Amazon, you need an account. In order to text someone, let's say you need an Facebook, WhatsApp or Messenger, you need an account. Well, nothing comes free, you have to create an account. Well, an average person use almost 20-25 applications in smartphone. I'm just taking a single person, and just to give you the stats, there are 7.5 billion people on this earth. 3.5 billion people are using internet. Now just do a calculation of 3.5 billion people using 20-25 applications in the smartphone, and the way the data is getting improved, just do a mind calculation. I've given for one user, You calculate for 3.5 billion people on this earth who is using smartphones. Now, when everyone is generating data, who is going to create a system for it, right? Now, few of the facts which I wanted to say is, well, the most used applications like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Ola, all these companies have started lately in 2004, 2005, 2006, and nowadays the Instagram is one of the application which is used widely, and you can see that it is just 12 years old. And if you see the number of active users in every of this application, it's almost like 2.3 billion, 1.5 billion. There are billions of users who are using this applications. Now, if this is a applications that has been introduced in the last 15-20 years, you should also understand that every second, every second, well, I'm talking for the last 5 minutes. If you say that 300 seconds, every second there is 1.7 megabits of new information that is created every second, not only from me, all across the world, all across the applications. If you see in the last 2-3 years, the data growth has been very tremendously increasing. We can see that almost 90% of the data is coming from the last 3-4 years. The reason? The usage of smartphones, or I would say that internet, all these things are making the data impactful. Well, you should also understand that every second Google is also processing around 40,000 searches. Well, every day you have to think about how Google has to perform in order to answer all questions. Well, you are doing something you don't understand, you go to Google, you search that word. On an average, you search on 7 to 8 searches. But just think about Google. Every second, 40,000 searches happening across the world, and you have to go and respond them. That's the work of the Google. If you see that 3.7 billion people are using internet, with almost 41 lakh people are watching YouTube video, and in fact you are also one among them. 41 lakh people are watching YouTube video, and currently since you are also watching the YouTube video, you are also one among this. You can also see that 4 lakh tweets are sent on every minute, and every minute there are 46,000 posts that is being posted in Instagram. Well, I'm talking about stats, I'm talking about numbers. Well, I'm also sure that you are also one among this. You are also one among this. You are generating the data. You are being part of the data's growth. These are all something which you have to know it. Well, we are all used it, but we know what is happening on the backend. We don't know what is happening in the backend. Now let's see what is that is happening at the backend. Now these are the things you are knowing it. You should also think that about it. Why this data is increasing rapidly? What is the reason that this data is getting generated at a very high level? Well, I would say that the main reasons why the data is getting generated, which I can also call it as a big data, the first reason is internet users. Just because of the internet users, the data is getting generated at a very rapid pace. Well, the second thing is smartphones. Well, nowadays, everything you can do it within your smartphone. You need to pay bill, you need to order something, you need to order food, you need to do everything you can do it within the smartphone. These two things, internet users and smartphones, are playing hand to hand, and that's one of the reason that the data is getting generated at a very, very high pace. Well, you'll also come across certain sensors in the healthcare or even your normal CCTV cameras. And the way it has to process is it has to keep on running. Now, sensors are one of the reasons that the data is also getting generated at a very high manner. Smart devices. Nowadays, smart devices are also making an impact. You wear the watch and you sleep, and that will even monitor your heartbeat, sleep, sleep movement. So everything will be taken care by the smart devices. Well, also IoT is making a very important turnover here. So Internet of Things is the future. You can try to operate any devices at your home by using IoT. That's going to be the future. And all in all, I can also say that this is user friendly. Anyone can go and use smartphone. You need not go to any tuitions or you need not learn any coaching to use your smartphones and internet. Anyone, even if you're not educated, you can still go and use a smartphone. So this is one of the top reason that why everyone is using smartphones, internet, smart devices, and that in turn is getting generated as a data. Well, I'll call them as a big data. Now I'll define what is big data, but these are the reasons why the data is getting generated in a very fast manner. Now, a simple example I'll tell you. In 2009, if you want to take some good photos, maybe pre-wedding shoot, post-wedding shoot. So if you want to take some good photos, you need couple of people. Maybe one is a chopper, one is like a pilot, and one is a cameraman. Maybe on the rotation basis, here and there, up and down, changing the amplitude. So everything, maybe you can get some good photos. Well, this is in the 2009. Just in 10 years, what happened? I hope you know this. So the drone came into invention. Now, don't you think two people were struggling to take some good photos? Now, don't you think that one small device can do this? Well, not to mention, but I would say that don't you think that both cameraman and pilot lost their jobs in the 10 years? Don't you think that? Well, simple scenario where I need to take a photos. Within 10 years, let's see how the situations has changed. How the things have changed. Well, that is what I would say that technology is ruling the world. You need to get adopted to it, else you'll not be able to survive in this technical world, right? Now, why this is important? Well, the data is getting generated. I could have simply ignored it, right? Why I'm not ignoring? What is making me to think about this? Well, for answering your question, data is very important because with data, you can make some good decisions about your business. You can know whom to target within your organization, what is a customer preference, what they are liking, what they are not liking. You can get to know that. Also, I would say that in order to understand your business better, you need to know the data for more clarity of what it has to be done. And by analyzing the data, we can also get some good working systems for our clients. And as simple as more data, more analysis, more results, more profit. Well, the data is getting in the larger manner, but you cannot ignore it. If you ignore, maybe you are losing your business. You need to think about what can be improved. So I would say that more the data, it is directly proportional to your profit as well. And I would also say that data is a key for every business. In order to improve your business, data is a fuel. Well, these are all the things why I'm not ignoring data, even though I'm getting generated by different systems, different people are using different ways of it, and I have a huge data. I cannot ignore data because data is playing a very important role in every business. This is also one of the part. Now, I would also say that I was also talking about data, but what is this big data? What makes data big? You would have heard about big data technologies, but what exactly is a big data? Well, let me put it into a simple term. You have a glass which is around 200 ml. You fill the water in this 200 ml. After 200 ml, anything you pour, it's going out. It's spilling. That means you have completely utilized the tumbler storage, and then whatever you pour it, it's spilling out. Same way, there are certain traditional systems currently working. Anything bigger than that, I will consider as a big data. Very simple. Well, let's think about this. How much data can an Excel hold? Very simple. 10 lakh rows, 16,000 columns. Okay. If you want to store 11 lakh records, is it possible to store in Excel? Not possible. Maybe I'll consider that as to be a big data. Well, maybe I can see that I can store up to 5 GB in Oracle, MySQL, maybe I can store up to 2 GB. Well, all this I would say that it has a limitation. Well, assume that in my business, I have a 2 terabyte of data. I have a 2 terabyte of data. Now the question to you is, where do you store this 2 terabyte of data? Is it possible to store it in your system? Oracle? Server? Do you think it's possible? Never. It's not possible to store the huge data in your personal machines. Then what is the procedure? Where do you store? Well, let's say your business is having 2 terabyte of data. Now, where do you store this 2 terabyte of data is a question. Well, you keep thinking and you need not worry because there is always a source that is going to help us, right? Now, we also have seen the growth over the last 10 years. The data growth, if you see, in 2010, it was only 2 gigabytes. So people who don't know what is gigabytes, I have given you a table in the left side, like what each one specify: megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and now we are in a zettabyte, which is 10 power 21. And just to give you a high level picture, 40 into 10 followed by 21 zeros. Now this is the data that is getting generated by 2020. Well, I didn't even consider the last 2 years. In fact, it was more of digital world where even your classes were online. Students, schools, everyone you're using smartphones, but I've not even considered that. But still, the data that is getting generated is 40 gigabytes. Now, question to you. When 40 gigabyte is getting generated from different systems, who can go and create a proper organized systems? Who can go and store the data in a proper manner? Who can help us to get the working system? That's the question you have. Well, just if you have seen the growth in this manner, let us also see that. I'll give a small story to make it more interesting. Imagine the place you are currently. Just imagine, what if it rains so heavily suddenly? Well, we are all in the rainy season, but still I'm giving an scenario. What if it rains so heavily suddenly. Let me talk about what is a consequence first. Well, the rainwater will never find a place to settle. Of course, yes. The water will be spilled across the road. In fact, if it is too much of rain, the water can still enter your house. And overall, I can say that your normal life is affected. Your normal life is affected. We all know that our normal life is affected. But if you just go and do some groundwork, you will get to know that what is the reason also. Well, the reason is very simple. No proper rainwater harvesting, no proper planning, and you are not prepared to handle the situation, right? What if it rains suddenly? The first part, first 4 points, I would say what is a consequence, and the next 3 points I would say why it has happened. No, because you have not been prepared properly. Well, this can happen if it rains suddenly. Just try to relate. What if the data is also flowing like this from different systems? The data is coming from YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. What if you get multiple data sources from multiple systems? First question, do you have the capacity to handle all this? Do you think the system which you are using is able to manage the data speed? Can you handle this? Just related to what if it rains suddenly and you're not able to manage the rainwater, and what if it flows the data in a very huge manner from different systems and you're not able to manage it. Well, to just come up with a solution to this, we know that we are not in a place where we can handle a huge data systems. I would say that in the real world, you get the data from different systems. You get it from web, you get it from database, you get it from cloud. Well, what exactly is this ETL? Well, ETL stands for extract, transfer, load. Now, what is this extract, transfer, load? You're extracting the data from different systems. You're transferring the data, I would say. Even you can put it as a transformations. Applying transformations, moving of the data from one system to other, and finally loading the data into systems. Well, extract, transfer, and load. These three things we call it as ETL. Now, this is very important because you have to bring everything into one system. That's a key point here. But how to do it? Let's say, I'll give a simple example. You have two visuals which you're seeing on the screen. One is an unorganized bookshelf. One is an organized bookshelf. Well, tell you what happens in unorganized, which is called A, and this also I'll call it as B. Now, in A, what happens? Let's say one person, your friend X, comes and asks some book. What happens? You need to pull out, you need to pull out, you need to pull this, you need to pull this, you need to pull this, and by the time you pull, everything will be disturbed and everything will fall down. You nearly took 30 minutes to search that book. Well, you can even get it in 5 minutes if you are lucky. But in order to search that book, let's say you took 30 minutes. Well, in order to put it back again, maybe you would have taken 5 minutes, right? So in order to search a book, you would have taken 30 minutes. In order to place it again into the system, you would have taken 5 minutes because you're just dumping everything into the cupboard. Let's talk about the second example. If someone comes and asks any book, you can search it very fast. You can get it because you have organized well. This is a chapter books, this is some craft items, this is a picture books, this is a coloring books, this is a toys. So easily you can go and get it. I would say that you can get it even in 5 minutes. It's still possible to get any book within 5 minutes because it is a well organized manner. But the challenge in this is, in order to arrange, would have taken 30 minutes. Now tell me, system A is good or system B is good? Well, currently in the market, lot of data systems, databases are in the form of A. Now what we are going to do? We are going to convert A to B. We are going to convert A to B. We are going to organize the data, and we are making sure that we put lot of efforts in organizing it, and anyone who comes and picks the data, let him pick in 5 minutes and let him move forward. Lot of groundwork has to be done at the back end, which is what we are going to do, converting your unorganized data into an organized data with specific tools, and also creating the data cleaning, transformations, pipeline creations. That is what we are going to do. Okay. Now we have seen an example. We'll also see how this is possible in the current market. Well, currently, when I say currently, that means it's a traditional ETL process. Extract, transform, load. Now currently what is happening, let me tell you. The data is coming from different systems like CRM, flat files, unstructured data, and then maybe you properly get it into a normal system. You organize it well, and you create multiple subsets. And once this ETL process is done, maybe also go for a cleaning, transformations, loading from different systems. You do everything into a machine. From there onwards, we start building the reports, dashboards, and that will be useful for end users. Well, this is a traditional pipeline that is currently in the market. So you may ask me how this all is done. How this completely the ETL process is done? Well, we already have the on-premises tools currently in the market. Like we have SAS, we have SAP, we have SSIS, we have Talent, also we have Oracle, and also we have Informatica. Now all these tools which are currently in the market will help us to build a pipeline, traditional end-to-end pipeline, which is a transforming, I would say extracting, loading the data into different systems. Now this is possible by using these ETL tools. Well, there is one problem here. The problem here is, I would say, is how much it can handle. That's a problem here. How much it can handle. Well, it cannot handle huge data. So traditional ETL tools has to be replaced. Well, now we are going to replace it with cloud. We are replacing with cloud. Now I'll give a simple example. Assume that you have one laptop which is of 10 lakhs. I mean, sorry, 1 lakh. Assume that you have one lap which is of 1 lakh, and the maximum data you can store is 1 terabyte. Okay. Now I'll give a solution. What we will do is, imagine if your business is generating a 10 terabyte of data. How much? 10 terabyte of data. Now, how do you store this 10 terabyte of data? Well, very simple. Very simple. I can go and buy 10 laptops. 10 lakhs. 10 terabyte. In order to store this 10 terabyte, you're spending 10 lakhs. because you're storing in 10 different laptops. Now, is this effective? Well, I need to also hire 10 people who can manage my 10 laptops, data security, data breach. The person which you're hiring should never run away with your laptop. So you should also have the trust on him. So you need to hire a trustable person. You need to pay them salary. He has to take care of the systems. All the 10 laptops should be on the running on the server because power supply is necessary. And in the nowadays, even in the metro cities, you can see some power issues. So UPS is required. So much of efforts is required to store this 10 terabyte of data, right? 10 terabyte, 10 lakhs. Now, what about 100 terabytes? You have to spend 1 crore. For storing 100 terabytes of your data in your laptop, you need to spend around 1 crore with 100 people taking care of your systems. Well, practically speaking, this is not possible. Well, now don't worry. We have to store 10 terabyte of data. You need not spend 10 lakhs. What this cloud computing system says that we have four main cloud services like AWS, Azure, GCP, why? So this four cloud services, what they say is, boss, don't spend 10 lakhs. You give me 3 lakhs. I will take care of data. I will take care of the systems. I will take care of the power. I will take care of the storage. I will make sure the data is secure. I will also make sure there is no data loss. I will only hire people. I will only take care of everything. You need not do anything. You just give me 3 lakhs. Don't you feel the deal is good? I was about to spend 10 lakhs, even more than that. And now there is a good deal for me. One of the cloud computing and is coming and helping me, telling that, boss, don't worry. We have a system that we will help you. You just pay 3 lakh. You concentrate on the business. Now I felt this is a really a good deal. Why? Rather than spending more money, rather than taking some good trustable resources, now I need not worry anything. I'll simply give you 3 lakhs. I'll simply give you my data. You are going to manage everything. Now, well, that is what we are going to do next. All the traditional systems which we are using, now we are going with the cloud computing. Everything now is in the cloud. Well, that's what we are going to do now. Everything we are going to build a system that is in the cloud. Well, you can do it in AWS, you can do it in GCP, you can do it in Azure, but for this course, we are going to learn about Microsoft Azure. By using Azure as a cloud computing tool, we are going to create the complete systems in the cloud. Well, I would say this is also could be a cheaper when you compare with your on-premises data systems, right? Now, if you see here, why you need this cloud computing? Well, the reason why we need cloud computing is, well, one of the major advantages, it's unlimited storage. It is unlimited storage. And anyone across anywhere in the system, by just using the internet, you can access it. Very much flexible. And also, I said, it's cheaper when you compare with your on-prem. All this is making this to be a necessary for using to your system. And also you need to remember one thing. Since we are learning about Azure, we'll see what is Azure is going to help us. Well, Azure is going to help us in terms of providing all the services. But let us know what is Azure. Well, Azure is a cloud computing platform where it is an online portal where we can go and manage multiple resources. Whatever you want, you can go and request. You will be getting it. You'll be getting it. Now, one thing you should also understand is when Azure can help you in preparing all these data sources, providing all the services. Now, how it is possible? Well, we have different services which will help us, but also we'll understand that Azure was also introduced in 2010, which is the second largest cloud computing next to AWS. Almost 80% of the companies are using Azure, and it's like supporting almost 40 plus regions, right? Now, we have different services which will help us in providing the services, right? Well, if you want to store the huge data, you need not buy 10 laptops. You need not buy 20 laptops. You need not go and buy a server. You can simply use this storage. Well, if you want to do some analytics, if you want to go and analyze the data, well, you need not do anything. You can use this service. Well, if you want to store huge data which is going to be working as a database, well, you need not go and install a database in your system. You can use this. Like this, Azure provides around 18 categories, and in that we can almost get 200 plus services. By using this 200 plus services, you can go and use it for your system, and you can make it better in terms of how exactly a pipeline should create. You have to store the data, you have to clean the data, you have to process the data, you have to send the data to someone. Well, all in all, one service which can help us is Azure. Azure services can help you to achieve this. Well, this is about Azure services. Now, what are the services we may be using? Well, we may be using SQL Server, Data Factory, Block Storage, Databricks, Synapses, Virtual Machines, Active Directory. Now, you may not be knowing all this. It's a very high level. Maybe I would have mentioned what are the services. But in order to achieve what is a problem that we are facing in the current market, this services is going to help us. This services is going to help us. Well, this services will make us to create a pipeline end to end without any issues. Right? We'll be learning each and every service in depth, but a high level, these are the services which can help us. Right? Now, this is about Azure services. Well, we have seen an ETL process that is happening in the on-prem. Now it is going to happen in the cloud. Well, that's where you're going to be known as Azure Data Engineer. After this course, you will be known yourself as a Azure Data Engineer. Now, there are three things. You can either call yourself as a cloud engineer. Well, if you're a cloud engineer, you have flexibility of using either AWS, Azure, or GCP. Or some of them are being called as a AWS data engineer, Azure data engineer, GCP data engineer. Well, you yourself will be called after this course as Azure data engineer because you're learning only Azure services, right? By using the Azure services, we are going to prepare the end-to-end pipelines. Well, this is about the topic. Well, who should go for this course? Should the first question we usually get it? Well, this is a very good opportunity for freshers and those are already working. I would say if you want to earn more, if you want to go into a high bracket package, this top skills can prove you to be one of the best contender for getting the highest package. And people who want to jump onto different systems to different way, like if you want to jump from a non-technical to technical, I would say still this is possible. And this is a technology which is paying the highest in the current market. This is paying more than the data scientist, data analyst, and I would say that this technology which you are going to learn is going to be the top skill technologies in the current market, right? Well, that's about the who should go for this course? Well, I would also say that once you learn this tool, once you go through this course, you'll be learning starting with SQL, Python, big data, cloud computing, which especially we are concentrating on Azure. Well, how the big data works, how the big data systems work, how the Python coding is going to help us in preparing the pipelines, how SQL is going to be important, everything we are going to learn as part of this course. And the tools covered is something which you're seeing on the bottom of the screen. Well, this is about the completion of this training. You will be able to master, and the most importantly, this is what you'll be able to do. You'll be able to create the data pipelines for entire systems, right? Now, this is about the pipeline creation. Well, you can go to our website. Please visit our feedbacks. You'll be able to get some good understanding of how we teach. And we have our own app, which is KSR Data Vision. You can install this and you can attend the classes. The course starts from September 15th, 6:30 a.m. The classes will be from Monday to Friday, and we are teaching around 6 tools. We'll be learning around 6 tools like SQL, Python, cloud services, computing, Azure, big data, all this. And the fees will be 25,000, where we try to help you to get placed. We have some good connects. We'll share your resumes and we'll make sure that you've been part of the placement. Well, we also come up with help you in providing resume preparation, project preparation, as well as soft skills. You'll be able to learn all this. Well, this is about the course, which is going to start September 15th, 6:30 a.m. Right? And I would also say that we have our own YouTube channel. So please subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed for getting more updates. And this is a details of our institute where you can get us through, get connected, be a family member within us, and you will have all the access to the system. Well, this is a demo on data engineering, which we are going to start a new batch by September 15th. So this is one of the top skill currently in the market, which can help you in providing job. And I would say that this is a high paying job. Okay. Any other questions? Do you have any questions? The course duration is for 3 months. 3 months. The timings will be 6:30 a.m. Batch starts on September 5th. September 15th, and fees will be 25K. Course duration will be 3 months. Well, will that will end the session. Thank you so much for joining. Please reach out to our team. Our team will help you in providing more details. And this is one of the top skill currently in the market where you learn, you earn more. As simple as that. This technology is in demand, which can get you job in multiple companies. Thank you all. Thank you for your time on weekend. If you have not subscribed our channel, please subscribe our channel. We will come up with more videos on our YouTube channel. Thank you.